John was a dedicated travel blogger, exploring the world one adventure at a time and sharing his experiences with his online followers. He had embarked on a road trip through an unfamiliar countryside, aiming to uncover hidden gems for his next blog post. As he ventured deeper into the remote landscape, his GPS began to act erratically, displaying strange symbols and offering confusing directions. Curiosity drove him forward, but a sense of unease gnawed at him. Just as he considered turning back, an eerie message materialized on the GPS. "Continue at your peril." It was a warning he couldn't ignore, and he hesitated, debating whether to heed the ominous words. Before he could make a decision, his car's headlights flickered and the engine died, leaving him stranded on the desolate road. Panic washed over him as he tried unsuccessfully to restart the engine. Alone in the dark, John spotted a shadowy figure emerging from the dense woods nearby. It was a man, disheveled and weary, his face hidden beneath an unkempt beard. Despite his fear, John couldn't leave him stranded in the darkness. He opened the car door and stepped onto the deserted road. The mysterious man pointed at John's camera equipment and then to himself, as if trying to convey a message. John realized that his role as a travel blogger had brought him to this eerie encounter, and there was something the man wanted him to document. As the night grew colder and more surreal, John made the decision to follow the man into the woods, determined to uncover the reason behind this haunting encounter and help the lost traveler find his way home. Little did he know that his journey would lead him into a world where the boundaries between reality and the supernatural blurred, and his camera would capture the enigma of the lost traveler, forever etching their encounter into the annals of his blog. Sarah was a young woman who made her living as a delivery driver. It was a job that allowed her to make ends meet, but it also meant she often found herself driving alone through remote areas late at night. On this particular night, she had a rush delivery to make to a customer who lived in the countryside. Little did she know that this delivery would lead her to a chilling encounter on the desolate highway. As she drove down the dark and winding road, her GPS acting strangely, Sarah couldn't help but think about her life. She had taken up this job out of necessity, trying to support her family after her father had passed away. The mounting medical bills and the responsibility of caring for her ailing mother had forced her into this line of work. The GPS screen displayed bizarre symbols and gave contradictory directions, adding to her anxiety. But Sarah couldn't afford to turn back, not with the urgent delivery in the back seat and her family counting on her. She hesitated when an eerie message flashed on the screen. Turn back now or face the consequences. Sarah's heart pounded as she weighed her options, but with a deep breath, she decided to press on, determined to fulfill her responsibility. That's when her car's headlights flickered and the engine died, leaving her stranded in the darkness. As she stepped out of the car, she saw a shadowy figure approaching from the fields. It was a woman, disheveled and worn, her face hidden beneath tangled hair. Sarah felt a shiver of fear, but she couldn't leave her car and her delivery behind. Desperation gripped her as she showed the woman her phone, trying to communicate that she needed to complete her delivery. The spectral figure pointed at the phone and then gestured toward the fields, as if beckoning Sarah to follow. Driven by a mix of fear and determination, Sarah decided to follow the mysterious woman into the fields, hoping to uncover the reason behind this haunting encounter. She couldn't help but wonder if her dedication to her job and her family had led her into a world where the supernatural and the mundane collided, and she needed to find answers to escape the spirits that seemed to haunt this forsaken place. It was a moonless night, and I found myself on an unfamiliar stretch of highway, guided only by my car's GPS navigation system. I wasn't on a specific mission or assignment. I was just driving to clear my mind and escape the stresses of my daily life. Little did I know that this night would become a haunting experience I would never forget. As I drove down the winding road, my GPS acted strangely, displaying cryptic symbols and offering directions that contradicted each other. The unease settled in my chest, and I considered turning back. Then, an ominous message appeared on the GPS screen. Continue at your own risk. It was a warning I couldn't ignore, but my curiosity got the better of me, and I pressed on. Just as I made up my mind to carry on, my car's headlights flickered, and the engine died, leaving me stranded in the inky darkness. Panic coursed through me as I desperately tried to restart the engine, but it remained silent. Alone in the quiet night, I spotted a shadowy figure emerging from the woods. It was a person, their features obscured by the shadows. Despite my fear, I couldn't leave them stranded in the darkness. I opened the car door and stepped out, my heart pounding. The mysterious figure pointed to me and then gestured toward the woods as if urging me to follow. It became clear that my role as a bystander had led me to this eerie encounter, and there was something the figure wanted to show or tell me. As I followed the figure deeper into the woods, the night grew colder and more surreal. My fear mingled with a strange sense of anticipation, as if I were about to uncover something extraordinary. Little did I know that this night would lead me into a realm where the boundaries between reality and the supernatural blurred, and I would become a part of a haunting story that defied explanation.